Hey guys, Chad here, doing another homebrew review. Got Alex and Alex again. How you guys doing? This is my Bitterwheat Symphony, which is sort of an amber ale, sort of an IPA. It's really hoppy beer with a bunch of wheat in it, since I had a bunch of wheat sitting around, and I had a whole bunch of specialty malt sitting around too, and I was like, why don't I just throw that in and see what happens? So I'm gonna put the recipe in the description box. There's a bunch of white wheat in here. 8 pounds, 3 pounds of pale malt, that's 2 row, a pound of Vienna malt, 11 ounces of aromatic malt, and 10 ounces of amber malt, and then it's all Mosaic hops. So, I mean, as far as appearance goes, it's definitely kind of in the amber. Well, I guess it's kind of that IPA orange color you usually get. Usually get more head on this, but what do you smell on this?
Wheat.
I smell coffee.
There is a bit of a coffeeness to it.
I think that's from the aromatic malt.
Or maybe that's what it is.
It's probably like a toasty, almost caramel. What do you think?
Oddly enough, I have like sense memory of fall leaves. I don't know, there's like a wet leaf characteristic to it that every time I've had this beer,
Do you
I've
get the
always
Mosaic
got.
hops too? Because
I
that's
do.
like a spicy, citrusy hop.
Yeah, I get the citrus. Really strong.
Alright, I guess we can dive in here. Cheers. What do you think?
Big Mosaic flavor.
I get a lot of the dryness of the wheat.
Yeah. It's to me, it's almost like salty. It reminds me of like if you're eating like one of those big soft pretzels at like a ball game or Oktoberfest or something. Like it's like really bready like that, but then it's like super bitter, like and dry, almost like a pretzel.
When you say salty, I think goes, and the texture of it is like that. Obviously, it's not salt. The beer itself isn't salty, but that's what the texture is similar to a goes.
It's very, very spicy. I mean, it's all from the Mosaic hops. Usually, Mosaic is like a really, like a very versatile hop.
Yeah.
So you get citrus, you get spice, you get earthy character. Which comes across to you the most?
I like your description of the whole bready to, salty. I don't know how to, other than using the word salt. Like, it's not citrus, it's just whatever that characteristic is. I get that. It finishes with a lot of citrus, like a dry lemon, orange rind kind of thing, which I find very pleasing.
I get like a touch of caramel in the finish and like a touch of coffee.
I get the coffee. Actually, if you try that Captain Lawrence Hop Somniac that I brought you, it's quite similar to this, except it's more overtly coffee because they put coffee in it.
Right. What do you think?
No, I like it. I think it's it's easy drinking. I like the nice dry, bitter with this slightly citrus finish to it. Very good.
Yeah. Now, would you consider this IPA, amber ale, or other?
It's pushing IPA, I think.
Yeah, there are characteristics to it that are definitely IPA, but with the texture of it, I don't know that you could say this is definitely an IPA.
Hoppy amber ale would be my 2 cents.
Like Trug's Nugget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the closest, but this is obviously a different texture than that.
It's only 4.3%, which was not the intention. This was supposed to be a big beer. It's supposed to be like almost like 8%, and I sparged it very, very quickly. So the gravity came out pretty low. It was like 1044 OG, and then it was like 1010 final gravity, which gives you a 4.3 ABV. But which I actually preferred. This is a session IPA.
Yeah.
It is,
in my opinion.
And the first time I ever had this, I remarked that this is probably the best, even if you didn't intend it this way, this is probably the best session IPA I've had, because you're not feeling like you're missing something. Like with a lot of session IPAs, they either bump up the hops so high that it's so resiny that you can barely drink it,
Right.
or it feels thin on the mouthfeel, and this doesn't have either of those problems. So I think, no matter what you call it, this is probably the best session IPA I've ever had.
Yeah.
Because you can drink a lot of it. It's interesting. It's not too light. It's not too hoppy. It's good. It's really good.
I was almost going for almost like a wheat wine, but it turned out to be a session IPA, which I would like to do this again and try to go for that wheat wine. with the higher 1073 gravity.
Yeah, if you double the length of your
Yeah,
sparge,
yeah.
you know, bring it down to a real trickle.
I mean, for me, it's like a 8. Grading it as a homebrew, to me, it's like an 8 or a 9. What do you think?
Grading it as, I'm just gonna grade it as a session, like a session beer.
Right.
I would grade it like 8.5. It's one of the better session beers I've had, no matter what you call it.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, high 30s for a BJCP score puts it in that, good to very good range. So
Right.
I'm comfortable with that.
That's my prayer. What do y'all think?
I would buy this off the shelves.
I can't
This
see
is
you
something
nodding
I would
on
take
camera.
to. This is something I would take to the track. It tastes a lot bigger than the ABV is, and so I'm always looking for a good track beer. It's bitter, it's bright, there's complexity from the start to the finish. I'm a huge fan of this beer, so I'd have to give it an 8.5, 9, no matter homebrew or not. So
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's
Homebrew or not,
actually,
this is a good session IPA.
absolutely.
It's funny because it's actually so I brewed this on October 5th, so it's a little less than a month and a half.
Yeah, it's
Fresh.
A little less than 2
Oh.
months, but I thought it would start to drop out by now already. But yeah, I still have a bunch left in the fridge. I think this is definitely one of the better homebrews I've done. It's probably the best accidentally good homebrews I've ever did. But this is one I can definitely. It's a very. Like the chocolate cherry chili porter is that's kind of a acquired taste. Not everybody seems to like it, but this one, everybody giving it to seems to like it. So. I guess it wraps it up. So thanks to Alex, and their wives off camera for helping me review this, and we'll see you next time. Bye.